myself Deepak Vansal, and this is my second video in the SQL tutorial series. In this video, I will describe the functionality of store procedure and views. Store procedure and views are basically used for the data retrieval, update, and deletion. These two objects make your SQL queries faster. So it is preferable to use the store procedure and views instead of writing direct SQL queries, since these are pre-compiled and faster than normal select queries. I will start with the uh, store procedure which retrieve data from the database. So let us write the queries for creating the store procedure. Customer is in the name because I am writing this store procedure on the customer table, and the purpose of this store procedure is select. So I'm writing the sp underscore select underscore customer. Sp stand for store procedure. I will be passing a customer ID to this store procedure. So if customer ID is available, then data retrieval would be based on the customer ID. Otherwise, all row from the table would be retrieved. If customer ID greater than 0 means customer ID is passed. So what I will do, select record from table based on comma equal to the value of parameter we are passing to the store procedure, else retrieve all record. Right, friend, here is our statement. Create procedure. SP is for store procedure. Select is to uh, understand that this store procedure is for select query, and customer is table name. This is basically store procedure naming convention which I am telling you. It is better to follow this convention so we can identify the object clearly, that what is the purpose of this store procedure and on which table this store procedure is being returned. Right. Let's execute this. So now this store procedure has been created in the database. We will call this store procedure. This is the, let's check the table, which customer ID we have. We have 6, 10, and 11. So here you can see I have passed customer ID, so data is received for that particular customer ID only. If I pass customer ID as 0, then all records will be retrieved. Right, here you go. So basically this is an example of store procedure to retrieve data. Now we will write another store procedure to insert, update and delete the records from the table. sp underscore update underscore customer, right? Again, we need to follow the naming convention. Now we need to pass parameters to the store procedure, which we will use to update the record. My first parameter will be fname. Okay, 50. Next would be str and name again. We can pass as many parameters as we required, right? But this is for example, so I will pass 2 parameters only. Yes, begin and also we need to pass the customer ID, the key value of the table. Set strf name equal to the value of str name where customer ID equal to right. So here is the statement. You can add as many fields as you need in the update statement, like mobile number, email, etc. as well. So procedure is created. Now we will call the procedure. And suppose I will be updating the record for customer ID 6. Underscore update customer. Right friends, so here is the statement. We are calling the procedure exec or execute sp underscore update underscore customer. I am updating the name with Anil and last name with Kumar. So one row is affected. As you can see, the first name and last name is updated to the Anil Kumar. So hope you are aware with the how to write, select and update procedures. Now I will give you an example of the delete statement which we can use in the store procedure. Again, we need to pass customer ID. As begin. You may have questioned why I am writing begin and end statement. Basically, this is to instruct SQL compiler that the entire statement written between the begin and end has to be done in one go. I mean, if there is an error, I suppose I have written multiple statement between the begin and end, and one statement is executed successfully and other statement is not executed successfully, having some error, then the previous transaction which was executed successfully also has to be rolled back, right? In my previous tutorial we read about the data integrity, if you are aware. So this is basically to maintain the data integrity, that all transaction has to be executed successfully or none of the transaction should be executed successfully. That's why I write begin and end. Delete customer where customer ID equal to the value of parameter we passed customer ID, right? That's it. Here we go. So we have record for the customer ID 6. Now I will call this customer underscore delete store procedure with passing the customer ID as 6, and okay, there is basically foreign key references, so we cannot delete directly customer record. We need to remove record from orders table first, right? So here you go, we will write the record from order table as well. So this was the basically reference, an example of referential integrity. Since we have record in the TBL orders, we cannot remove that customer which having record in the TBL orders. So first we need to remove the record from order table, and then we will remove the record from customer. We deleted the record. Now we will call procedure. Here we go. As you can see, 3 rows affected, 3 rows has been removed from the TBL orders and 1 row has been removed from TBL customers. Let's check what happened in the table. There is no record in both of the table, right? Records have been deleted. So this is how we can write select, update and delete procedure on the table. While you are deleting a row from table, you need to take care of the referential integrity as well. If a table is having a foreign key in another table, then you first need to remove the record from that table and then only we can proceed. Now the procedure section is completed. I will put some light on the views object. Views are basically uh, used for the reporting purpose. Mainly it is used for the data retrieval only, but we can do update and delete as well using the view, right? It is available in the database as a table itself, right? So you will understand more when I write some queries on this. Let us start writing the views. Create view. Again, naming convention, since it is a view, we will have yes begin end. Never write star statement. Please write only the fields name which you need in your query. Right, so in this view we are retrieving basically fname and name in mobile number, user ID and password from table customer, right? So let us execute this. So it is created. Now we will use this view. Here you go, you can see all fields which we have written in the view are retrieved: fname and name, mobile number, user ID and password. Now we will do an updation using this view, right? We don't need to update the view for updation, we just need to update the view itself since it is treated as a table. And name equal to tutorial where and customer ID equal to, we need to check what customer ID we have in table. We have 10 and 11, right? So suppose we pass 10 to this. No, since I'm not returning the int customer ID column in my view, there is an error that invalid column name in customer ID. There is no customer ID in my view, so I need to update the store procedure. I will use alter statement. That's why I have added the here we go. It is updated. Let us see what happened in the table. It is updated, right? Similarly, we can do the deletion as well using the view. You just need to write the statement like this: delete view underscore customer where int customer ID equal to say 10. Again, referential integrity. I will try on the record again. So first we need to remove the record from table order. Alright, and here we go. The record is deleted using the view. As you can see, only customer ID with customer ID 10 is available. Only customer with the customer ID 10 is available. Rest of the record has been deleted. Okay, so one more thing I would like to add in the store procedure, that we have few store procedure where we can use output parameter as well. In this approach of the store procedure, we are returning a record set. Basically, the record set and output parameter a bit different. I mean, when you use this store procedure in your application, then there you will understand what is the difference between record set and output parameter, right? So I will show how we can create a store procedure with an output parameter, right? Suppose I will write a store procedure where we pass customer ID and f name and l name is returned as a parameter instead of having entire select statement. Here we go. In customer ID strf name varchar 50 output. Since output parameter will retain only one value, so we will retrieve only one record, not multiple records, right? Right. Okay. Now we will call the parameter a store procedure with output parameter. Make sure to mention this length of variable as per your base table field data types length. If you have strf name in table customer with a varchar data type and with the length of data type is 50, then you essentially need to have to maintain this data type and length in entire system, whether you are writing a store procedure or a view or anything. Otherwise you might face some issue. Okay, let's check which record we have. I am adding star here because this just a select statement and is not stored in any database objects. Right, so we have customer ID with 10 and the strf name output. Select as name, right? So we have declared a variable with the name strf name and we just passed both parameters to our store procedure. One is customer ID and another is to return the value of strf name. Let's execute this and you can see the name is returned. You can also write here print statement if you don't want to return a record set. Here you see the SQL tag is printed. So this is all about the store procedure and view object. You may have some advanced level SQLs in store procedure and the views, but the basic fundamental will remain same. Thank you for watching.